Moonwalking, what a surprise, caught me flirting. No place to hide in the heat of the game. Feeling so fly, but mom's interruption knocked me out the sky. Flirting with a fanboy, virtual love affair. In Fortnite's world, we found solace there, but reality hit hard. No time to prepare, caught in the act. Now my secret's
little but they chungus, feeling kinda nervous. Went on a date, he said he's got a big purpose, but then he let one rip. Oh man, it was atrocious. The smell was so familiar, it was making me ferocious. His fart smelled like a feast, like fresh baked apple pie. I thought it was a joke, but it made me wanna cry. It filled the air with fragrance, like flowers in July, but it wasn't that appetizing. I just had to say goodbye. Oh, Big Chungus, your fart was so yummy, but it's not quite what I expected. It's kind of funny, a love story had a strange twist and a funny ending, but that's the way it goes when you're with Big Chungus. It's never pretending. It's best in the funny end.
Mom walked in, what a surprise. Caught me flirting, no place to hide. In the heat of the game, feeling so fly, but mom's interruption knocked me out the sky. Flirt with a fanboy, virtual love affair. In Fortnite's world, we found solace there, but reality hit hard. No time to prepare, caught in the act, now my secret's laid bare. In that digital realm, we felt so free, building our empires, just you and me. But mom's intrusion reminded me that gaming love won't set me free.
Jesse jumped from up high, thought he could touch the sky, but when he hit the ground, his pants made a funky sound. Jesse had a big fight. His favorite pants turned white, he looked down. What a mess, Funky Pop was staying no less. He tried to play it cool, but he felt like a fool with the poop stain so clear. Funky Pop lost his cheer. Jesse jumped from up high, thought he could touch the sky. But when he hit the ground, his pants made a funky sound. Jesse had a big fright. His favorite pants turned white, he looked down. What a mess, Funky Pop was staying no less. He tried to play it cool, but he felt like a fool with the poop stain so clear. His Funky Pop lost its cheer. Jesse jumped from up high, thought he could touch the sky. But when he hit the ground, his pants made a funky sound. Jason pulled a car, slamming his truck. I parked by his side, laughing like what the fuck. Ordered a JBC, thought it'd be smooth, but his burger got beans. Oh no, what a groove. Rolling through Wendy's, feeling so fly. But when he opened his burger, he let out a sigh. Beans all over, what a strange sight. Never thought he'd see beans ruin his appetite. Beans in the drive-thru, what a funky situation. Jason's burger got beans, causing a commotion. But he ain't gonna let it ruin his day. He'll just pick off the beans and find a new way. Jason pulled up, slamming in his truck. Paul by his side, laughing like what the fuck. Ordered a JBC, thought it'd be smooth, but his burger got beans. Oh no, what a groove. Rolling through Wendy's, feeling so fly. But when he opened his burger, he let out a sigh. Beans all over, what a strange sight. Never thought he'd see beans ruin his appetite. Beans in the drive-thru, what a funky situation.
slamming it down. With a dog in the car, they're making the town. Go to JBC, smile on his face, but suddenly beams all over the place. Laughing like a maniac, driving real fast. The whole crew wondering what's in his glass. He's in chaos, JBC's a mess. Beans on his burger causing his stress. Drive through drama, what a scene to behold. Oh, Jay, you're out of control. Beans on his JBC, a ridiculous sight. Laughing at his bad luck all through the night. I sound at the window, slamming it down. With a dog in the car, they're making the town. Ordered a JBC, smile on his face, but suddenly beans all over the place. Laughing like a maniac, driving real fast. Got the whole crew wondering what's in his glass. Wendy's in chaos, JBC's a mess. Beans on his burger causing distress. Drive through drama, what a scene to behold. Ciao.
Jason pulled a car slamming his truck. I parked by his side laughing like what the fuck. Ordered a JBC, thought it'd be smooth, but his burger got beans. Oh no, what a groove. Rolling through Wendy's feeling so fly. But when he opened his burger, he loud guitars, we're breaking the mold. Hyper pop vibes, we're turning it bold. Strumming fast energy, untamed in this revolution. We won't be dead, burning up the stage. met up with this big cat. He had a crew with him, Pop, Slim, or Six. They were cool with him, but out of nowhere he had a crazy whim. Started munching on beans, slapping his own skin. He said, forget about haters, just do what you please. Dancing like nobody's watching, feeling so free. Spreading joy and laughter, bringing good vibes. Eating beans, slapping ass, he's on a wild ride. Good vibes only, that's what we're all about. No negativity, just laughter and shout. Eating beans and slapping ass, it's all in good fun. Join the big cat crew, let loose and have a good one. Brandon logged in a star rail on a special day. Thought he'd pull a 5-star, but it went the wrong way. No luck on his side, his birthday wish was denied. Now his celebration's gone crushed and defied. He had high hopes, counting on the lucky draw, but the game had other plans, left him feeling raw. No rare cards appeared, just disappointment and tears. His excitement faded into sorrow and fears. One star on his birthday, what a letdown, what a shame. No glorious triumph, only sorrow in his game. He wished for greatness to shine from afar, but all he got was a one-star birthday scar. Brendan locked into Star Rail on a special day. Thought he'd pull a 5-star, but it went the wrong way. No luck on his side, his birthday wish was denied. Now his celebration's gone, crushed and defied. He had high hopes, counting on a lucky draw, but the game had other plans, left him feeling raw. No rare cards appeared, just disappointment and tears. His excitement faded into sorrow and fears. One star on his birthday, what a letdown, what a shame. No glorious triumph, only sorrow in his game. He wished for greatness to shine from afar, but
Brandon locked in, but he'd hit the big score, 5-star rating. He wanted nothing more, but fate pulled a prank, left him feeling low. One tiny star, his birthday's big blow. No big titties, just a big surprise, a cock with one star. It ain't no prize. Brandon's hopes dashed like a shooting star. His birthday dreams crushed, didn't get too far. Birthday blues, what a bummer. No boobs for Brand, just a cock, one star. But hey, keep your head up, it's not the end. Next year's a new chance, let the fun begin.
Brandon logged in, thought he'd hit the big score, 5-star rating. He wanted nothing more, but fate pulled a prank, left him feeling low. One tiny star, his birthday's big blow. No big titties, just a big surprise. A cock with one star, it ain't no prize. Brandon's hopes dashed like a shooting star. His birthday dreams crushed, didn't get too far. Didn't get too far. Birthday blues, what a bummer. No boobs for Brandon, just a cock, one star. But hey, keep your head up, it's not the end. Next year's a new chance, let the fun begin.
Brandon logged in, thought he'd hit the big score, 5-star rating. He wanted nothing more, but fate pulled a prank, left him feeling low. One tiny star, his birthday's big blow. No big titties, just a big surprise, a cock with one star.
Brandon logged in, thought he'd hit the big score, 5-star rating. He wanted nothing more, but fate pulled a prank, left him feeling low. One tiny star, his birthday's big blow. No big titties, just a big surprise. A cock with one star, it ain't no prize. Brandon's hopes dashed like a shooting star. His birthday dreams crushed, didn't get too far. Didn't get too far. Birthday blues, what a bummer. No boobs for Brandon, just a cock, one star. But hey, keep your head up, it's not the end. Next year's a new chance, let the fun begin. Brandon logged in, thought he'd hit the big score, 5-star rating. He wanted nothing more, but fate pulled a prank, left him feeling low. One tiny star, his birthday's big blow. No big titties, just a big surprise. A cock with one star, it ain't no prize. Brandon's hopes dashed like a shooting star. His birthday dreams crushed, didn't get too far. Didn't get too far. Birthday blues, what a bummer. No boobs for Brandon, just a cock, one star. But hey, A Brandon logged in, thought he'd hit the big score, 5-star rating. He wanted nothing more, but fate pulled a prank, left him feeling low. One tiny star, his birthday's big blow. No big titties, just a big surprise. A cock with 1 star, it ain't no prize. Brandon's hopes dashed like a shooting star. His birthday dreams crushed, didn't get too far. Didn't get too far. Birthday blues, what a bummer. No boobs for Brandon, just a cock 1 star. But hey, keep your head up, it's not the end. Next year's a new chance.
Plug the adapter into the adapter. Thanks, Nolan, for suggesting this. Not the Mr. Beast Nolan, this Nolan right here. So I'm just over and over converting USB-C to Apple Lightning, converting Apple Lightning into USB-C until I finally put the last one on, which is USB-C to Lightning, again for this very long cursed thing, which is actually ever so slightly bent. Well, I hear some of them are like that, but not all of them are like that. I'm talking about adapters. So now we finally plug it in, and it's not charging because I haven't plugged the cable in yet. Now that we plug the cable in, turn the power bank on, and it's actually charging it. Pick the iPod up, look, it's like all bent. Plug the adapter into the adapter. Thanks, no.
Oh my god.
This is Strudel, a member of the furry fandom. Though they've been a furry for over a decade, they have their own opinions.
It's crazy that it's escalated to this point where these kids are being so distracting to their peers that their peers want to stage a walkout. So to have, the next generation kind of muddy our name and not represent it very well, it is kind of disappointing.
Strudel believes there should be some limits.
Continue doing things you like, continue dressing up, continue making art, but maybe let's keep it outside of school hours.
As for the school, Sorensen says they have one main goal.
We want every student to feel safe when they come to school, and we want students to get along. In fact, we want adults to get along.
Okay, so the district says they've worked with some students whose dress and appearance they say might be disruptive to the.
So you might be wondering to yourself, what the fuck is going on? Well, guess what? There are kids going to school now in furry outfits, and there are other kids that are protesting it because of how fucking ridiculous it is. Look at this. These are kids protesting the furries. I wonder if anybody ever asked the question, is it a good thing that middle schoolers were groomed into a sexual fetish that they're now expressing in a middle school? Because if you asked me that question, I would say no. I think that's not good. In fact, I find it very bad. That's crazy. Wow. It's disgusting. It is. Nick Merckx has something to say? Yep. Oh my God. Look at him.
In schools, everybody. I'm live out here in front of Mount Nebo Middle School.
Look at this.
Where a bunch of kids have staged a walkout against furries. And there's been a lot of talk about furries in schools. Everybody says it's a myth. That's what the consensus was last time this came up in the news. But these kids are saying that it's not a myth and that there actually is furries being allowed in the classroom. They told me they're...
This is crazy. This is crazy.
Being attacked, they're being bitten, they're being sprayed in the face with
Somebody needs to call animal control.
with Febreze.
What news channel is it on? What news channel?
Let's see. Are
Main
they?
Street Media. All right.
They fight and scratch you.
How about you guys?
What are they? Is he gonna ask him anything?
Yeah.
I will not comply.
What are you not complying with?
Based kids.
Okay.
We just want to learn.
No furries?
Well, that's not true. But
Somebody was telling me that the furries were attacking you guys in class. Is that right?
Yeah, they bite kids. They bite people. They will bite ankles.
And how do they bite your ankle? Why would they?
They walk on all fours, run down the hall, and bite. Scratch people. They'll sniff your shoes and then bite you. They scratch people. They bite people. And one kid got bit, and then he kicked the furry, and then he got suspended. They won't stop biting at us.
wait. Did it say that one kid kicked a furry when it was biting him and the kid got suspended?
They scratch people, they bite people, and one kid got bit, and then he kicked the furry, and then he got suspended. They won't stop biting at us.
Yeah, it's animal abuse. True. Yeah, that's fucked up.
We're not allowed to wear masks on Halloween, but then they wear masks every day.
So you can't wear a mask on Halloween?
No, we can't wear masks on Halloween, but they can wear masks every day. It's not
So
fair.
are they wearing a mask every day?
Yes. But every time we go, they're always just wearing a mask. But the principal finally stood up and banned those stuff. But they still wear them every day. And they don't get in trouble. The principal doesn't make them get in trouble. Yeah. All the principal says is just be kind, be nice, be nice. And then
What's the point of dressing up like a furry?
it's just I don't know.
Thank God they don't know.
They think they're so cool that they want to get a lot of attention. I think they want attention. So people can come at them and just look at them and think that they're so cool.
Okay.
Also,
Are you guys going to be in trouble for walking out of school today?
no, maybe. If we go back on school,
So that's where we're at, and
come and like attack you, but there's like more. But there's 30 of them in all. I've seen at least like 15 furries.
15 furries. What the fuck?
Like 15.
And is this like an everyday thing?
Yeah.
Not too long ago.
Bro.
Not too long ago, they sprayed Febreze at me and my friends. Not too long ago.
They why Febreze? I don't understand that.
Because it's like Axe. You know what Axe is? Yeah, it's like that. We have Axe. They have Febreze. They just been spraying at people all the
Okay.
time.
Febreze is probably good to get the pet dander off, right?
Oh my God.
But me being worried about this, no, not at all. Because I know I've got all these people here to
Apple refuses to use anything else but this to clean their devices. It's $20 a bottle, but how does it compare to something like isopropyl alcohol or even Windex? We'll pull out our MacBook. We have this separated into 3 sections. We'll spray each solution onto its designated cloth and wipe the MacBook thoroughly. Give it some time to dry. The Windex is pretty clean, but not clean enough. Don't use it though, because this can happen. The alcohol is still kind of smudged up, but it's decently clean. And the whoosh is almost perfect. I can see why they use this now.
Hola gang, I'm at Taco Bell's website, and on their ordering page, you have to order napkin, fork, or straw. Am I to assume they won't give it to you unless you ask for it? So napkins to wipe my mouth with, I gotta specially order. If I order potatoes or pinto beans or something like that, I gotta tell them I need a fork. And if I order drink, I gotta tell them I need a straw. That's just not assumed. What the heck is that?
Bodies in suitcases, sudden disappearances, and unexplained deaths. The world of cryptocurrency seems to be experiencing an alarming number of millionaire murders in recent years. But are these just a series of coincidental tragedies? Or is there something far more sinister at play here? With such a volatile and unregulated market, hundreds of millions of dollars up for grabs, and some of the most experienced hackers on the planet trying to find their own slice of the pie, it is no wonder why so many choose to avoid this type of investment entirely. Today, we're traveling across the globe to look at 3 of the most prolific deaths in cryptocurrency, the mystery that surrounds their deaths, and the possible forces at play in the dark. And I'm sure that all 3 of these stories will leave you heavily concerned. Welcome back to Coffee House Crime, folks. My name is Adrian, and today I have a very interesting video for you. Now, this might be a slightly different format to the usual, but let me assure you it is totally worth watching. Many of these stories are absolutely insane, and ones that I've thought about for weeks now. In this video, I won't be explaining what cryptocurrency is because I think we'll have a rather vague idea by now. But when people discuss the risks behind crypto, they are usually talking about your financial security and not your actual safety. Well, this video puts a whole new perspective on that theory. By the way, I post stories like this up to 2 times a week. If you'd like to see more, please consider subscribing. And now, with that said, please grab yourself a coffee, pull up a seat, and get ready for the deep dive. This is the dark underbelly of the crypto world. Buenos dias, folks. We begin our video today in Argentina, officially known as the Argentine Republic. As one of the largest countries in the world, Argentina has a population to boot, with more than 47 million residents calling this place home. The country is famous for its excellent wine and food, competitive football, music, and of course, tango. I'm talking about the dance, by the way, not the soda. Although Argentina's recorded crime rate is relatively low when compared to the rest of South America, many argue that it doesn't convict quite as many people as it should, thus of course skewing all results and statistics. But at least statistically speaking, it tends to be safer than its neighbors nearby. However, on July the 23rd, 2023, a dark discovery made by 2 children would do nothing to support that calming statement. Found southwest of Buenos Aires city center rests a small region known as Ingeniero Buge. Not even 10 square miles in size, Ingeniero Buge consists of many homes, a few parks, and a nature reserve or 2. It is quite normal for kids to play football in the area, and today was no different. But that is when 2 children, only just old enough to be considered as teenagers, stumbled across an inconspicuous suitcase. The suitcase wasn't here in the previous days they'd played next to the stream, and so, quite understandably, their curiosity got the better of them. As they prodded the suitcase and peered through the zipper, they came across a startling discovery, one they could barely comprehend. Found inside lay the dismembered remains of a white man in his 40s. His limbs had been cleanly cut, with both his head and his torso missing. This was a mortifying discovery. The two young boys called the authorities immediately, who, no surprise, locked down the crime scene and then took things over from there. While at the crime scene, investigators found the victim's legs and a left forearm in the suitcase, and after checking the nearby stream, they also found a whole right arm. As mentioned, the body parts were cleanly amputated, suggesting that whoever had done this was likely a professional. And although it was not initially clear who the body belonged to, it wouldn't take investigators long to find out. A 4-letter tattoo on one of the hands made it quite obvious. The body belonged to a man named Fernando Perez Algarba, who had disappeared from the city only 4 days prior. And soon enough, fingerprint analysis would confirm the identity. Now, there were various peculiar details about Fernando's life and the manner of his death, but there would be one thing that everyone would stop to pay attention to, and that was his wealth, because Fernando was a crypto millionaire. With almost 1 million followers on Instagram, Fernando's profile sported a luxurious lifestyle, sported by crypto and smart decisions. However, judging by the number of likes that some of his posts received, I'm gonna hazard a guess and say that most of his followers were bought. When translated, his Instagram page says, "Tell me what you brag about, and I'll tell you what you lack. Life doesn't owe you anything. He who has magic doesn't need tricks." Now, according to local media, Fernando comes from a rags to riches backstory. In his childhood, he used to sell sandwiches and deliver pizzas, before eventually buying rundown vehicles so he could then repair and resell them at a higher price. In an interview, Fernando once said, "I traveled to Paraguay a lot to buy tires. They were much cheaper than in Argentina. This allowed me to refurbish the cars and then resell them at a better price." Moving into his 20s, Fernando transitioned to cryptocurrency, where he is said to have made a fortune by investing and then selling crypto tokens. And by the time he was 24 years old, he had a warehouse full of his own high-end vehicles. In another interview, Fernando said, "I started by investing $100,000 and doubled my profits in 4 days. I started with little study, I didn't have good results. Then I set up an office with 25 traders and realized that I was not the problem. Weak psychology was." Fernando's many Instagram photos show him riding a BMW, Porsche, Bentley, Mercedes, Range Rover, and various other vehicles, many of which were often seen with his cute little dog named Yamas. All of this was peppered between many extravagant photos of him living a lavish lifestyle, often wearing fancy watches and traveling to many exotic locations. After growing up in Argentina, Fernando moved to the United States, where he registered several companies, including a jet ski rental business which was found in Miami. In the months before his death, he decided to move to Spain, occasionally visiting Argentina for family and business-related purposes. But unfortunately, upon his most recent return, something terrible had happened to him, and now his body was found in the river in multiple pieces. 3 days after his limbs were discovered, officers responded to yet another concerning phone call, with this one also being made by another member of the public. Someone had come across a human torso, and after investigating the crime scene, detectives soon found a human head in a backpack nearby. It was very quickly established that both the head and the torso belonged to Fernando. According to his autopsy reports, he was shot 3 times in the chest, though according to some media outlets, it was twice in the back. And sadly, this is where Fernando's story slowly begins to unravel. As it turns out, he had made many enemies in the past, and being honest with you, most of them had a reason to be angry with him. As detectives began to dig deeper into his profile, they realized that although he had made millions through cryptocurrency investments, he was also in debt to several people and entities. And by the way, we are talking hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt here, not just to local people, but even to local gangs. Detectives would also find more than 200 angry messages in his inbox, so it became clear that he'd pissed off a lot of people. One of those messages read, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to gouge out your eyes and cut off your hands so that you can't have any more money in your life. I swear on my children that I have no problem going to jail." And that message was from a man named Iglesias, who was owed more than $70,000. Another voice message, which was left by a man named, Adrian, said, "I'm not threatening you. I am telling you that I'm going to rip your head off. The money is mine, and you don't play with mine." My hands are up. I swear I didn't write that one. That was Nero. Now, neither of these men were related to the gang that he also owed $40,000 to, which I would argue is a far more terrifying entity to make angry. Fernando had also racked up, quote, "irrecoverable debts with Argentina's tax agency," leading some to believe that it could possibly have been an inside job. According to central bank records, one of his businesses, which was named Seguepa, had 7 bounced checks which totaled more than 2.5 million pesos, the equivalent of $150,000 or 120,000 British pounds. To add to this, Fernando had more than 25 incidents on his criminal record, including drunk driving and assaulting a police officer. In fact, those very moments were recorded with this video right here. Shortly before his death, Fernando also left a note on his phone claiming that he had lost a lot of money investing in crypto, and that, furthermore, if something happened to him, he had already warned everyone close to him. In the weeks leading up to his death, Fernando had also posted cryptic messages hinting at deceit, betrayal, threats, and even murder. One of these posts showed Fernando in a car with an audio recording saying, "It's incredible how there are such evil people in the world that while you're thinking of helping them, they are there thinking of destroying you." In another post, he said, "Never trust anyone who doesn't show their loyalty to you. End of story." And in another voice note which was sent to his mum, he said, "Hello mum, I needed to clear my head as always. From here, I am realizing 2 things. That we can't escape from problems, and that problems will follow us." On July the 13th, Fernando messaged his landlord to say that he would vacate the property by the 19th of July. But when the landlord never heard back from him and then found his stuff within the property on that day, she reported his disappearance to the police. Of course, this suggesting that he'd been abducted in that time frame. It was only after examining the suitcase that Fernando's limbs were found in that officers found several documents attached to a family in the local area. Now this led to a search warrant and, eventually, the arrest of a local trans woman named Nicole Almo Chamorra. And by the way, it is confirmed that Fernando did actually owe money to Nicole, and so it is possible that he was murdered to financially settle the score. But saying that, the authorities also believe that, even if Nicole is responsible for Fernando's death, they must have had help from other people. Nevertheless, legal proceedings are still yet to begin, and some even believe that Nicole may have been framed in Fernando's death. As you can imagine, the authorities are remaining relatively tight-lipped on the situation, so this story may change a lot in the future. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. The investigation continues. For our next case, we're traveling 5,000 miles north from the cities and jungles of Argentina to more familiar territory. Welcome to the Ozarks, folks, a physiographic region that spans multiple states, but most notably Arkansas and Missouri, both of which are crucial in this case. Now, you might be familiar with this region for Netflix's wildly successful series named The Ozarks, and unfortunately, this story does not help paint a friendlier picture. It was on May the 21st, 2023, that a doctor and crypto millionaire named John Forsyth went missing. John was a 49-year-old man with a very prosperous future. During his childhood, he had grown up with 5 sisters and a brother, and was also known to be happy and passionate. He studied mathematics at university, but eventually would become a doctor at the Mercy Hospital in Cassville, Missouri. For most of his adulthood, John lived a very normal lifestyle. He married his wife in 1995 before divorcing her in 2019, and although they would remarry in 2020, they once again divorced by April 2022. Now, over the course of their relationship, they had 7 children together, and apparently, despite their divorce, the relationship remained healthy and amicable. After legal proceedings took place, John was ordered to pay $4,000 a month in child support, plus an additional $15,000 a month in other expenses, whatever that means. I mean, that sounds a lot to me, but maybe that's just normal in these situations. Honestly, I wouldn't know. Now, fortunately, John could easily afford these payments. And that wasn't just because he was a doctor. The truth is that he was also a cryptocurrency millionaire. To put things bluntly, Mr. Forsyth was one of the early ones. He mined and owned Bitcoin in 2016, back when its value was dirt cheap, and then held on to it through the peaks and troughs. John also co-founded OnfoCoin, a referral-based cryptocurrency project dubbed the People's Currency. He also played a crucial role in developing blockchain technology and decentralized finance, making him a well-respected cryptocurrency community man. In his own words, it became obvious to me that math-based currencies like Bitcoin would eventually supplant sovereign notes. I mined Bitcoin very early and then held on to them, and the massive appreciation of those assets allowed me to invest in another cryptocurrency. It is worth noting here that John always had a solid reputation of helping others, not just at work, but back at home with family and friends too. I mean, it comes with being a doctor, and to add to that, he had always helped his brother with his various health issues, and was a good father to his children. And on that note, he wasn't bitter about the divorce either. In fact, John had already fallen in love with another woman named Laura Barnett, who also worked at the hospital. Not only were the two engaged, but they were also now expecting a baby together. And John, he was absolutely over the moon about this. And apparently, according to his brother, he was the happiest he had been in many years. Now, with so much going on in his life, it was quite normal for John to section certain aspects of it away from close friends and family. And so, while he was a caring and kind person, he was also rather crafty with what he told them about his crypto business. Again though, John seemed extraordinarily happy with his life and the direction it was going. That was, of course, until he vanished. On Sunday, May the 21st, 2023, something was clearly wrong when John missed his 7 p.m. shift at the hospital. Now, John had never missed a shift before without telling anyone in the 15 years he had been there. So, this was an immediate red flag to his colleagues and loved ones when he suddenly vanished. At the time of his disappearance, John was living in an RV next to the hospital where he worked. So, bad traffic was off the list of excuses. When the authorities got there, they found it to be unlocked, and that, furthermore, he had left his 5 cell phones, laptop, and keys inside. And only 2 days later, they found his black Infiniti sedan abandoned nearby at the Castle Aquatic Park. His car keys, passport, and briefcase were found inside, and apparently it had been parked in, quote, a very hidden location in a place where it seems like cars are not supposed to go. After reviewing local surveillance footage, detectives found him to be walking towards his RV at roughly 7 a.m. while texting his fiancée. He seemed happy in these messages and told her that he would see her later, but that is when he suddenly stopped responding to all of her messages. According to officers, another surveillance camera captured him driving and parking his black car in the Aquatic Park parking lot at 7:12 a.m. 10 minutes later, a white SUV arrived and parked next to him. He was then seen getting into this vehicle for a short while before exiting afterwards. The white SUV then leaves a few minutes later, and John is seen walking around the parking lot 10 to 15 minutes after that. He then walked away from his car, never to be seen again. Several law enforcement agencies, including the Missouri State Highway Patrol, searched about a 9-mile radius around the park using people, dogs, and drones. John's family would also set up a Facebook page seeking for any help and information, but despite their best efforts, he sadly was nowhere to be found. That would be until 9 days later, when an update came in the most horrific of ways. On May the 30th, 2023, 2 men were kayaking in Beaver Lake, located 20 miles south in Arkansas, and that is where they came across John's body floating in the water. Quite clearly, he had been dead for quite some time. Officers were dispatched to the crime scene immediately. It was apparent that he had died from a gunshot wound, but the authorities would not say where he had been shot or whether it appeared to be self-inflicted. Now, of course, this has left many unanswered questions in the case. And although the Benton County coroner confirmed that an autopsy had been completed, he also stated that the results would not be released until the investigation ended. The news was sure to devastate his family, both old and new. His brother, fiancé, and ex-wife were all devastated by it, and they all immediately suspected that foul play was involved. To quote his brother, Richard, he said, "We're in shock, and I suspect foul play. He wouldn't miss a shift, even if his eyeballs were hanging out of their sockets. He's punctual in the extreme. It was an immediate red flag." His fiancée, Laura, was distraught, and after claiming that he was the love of her life, she is now faced with raising his child as a single parent. A terrible challenge, no matter what position you are in. So, of course, the big questions here are, what exactly happened to John? Was this an accident? Was it self-inflicted? Or was someone out to murder him? With him last seen talking to someone in a white SUV, many wonder if perhaps that person knows what happened to John. Of course though, the authorities are remaining tight-lipped on the situation, leading many to speculate. Saying that, John was also seen alive and well after the SUV drove away, so it is possible that they have nothing to do with this story. As we know, he then walked away from his own vehicle and out of sight of the surveillance camera, never to be seen alive again. And so, did he meet someone by chance maybe? Or was someone out to get him? Or was this just one terrible accident? Or even taking his own life? Well, as it turns out, John had actually made enemies in the past. In fact, back in the year 2022, he was even kidnapped by masked assailants, as confirmed by his brother. During this time, he was zip-tied before being driven to a dark, cold and lonely bridge. He was then threatened before being let go. The thing is, John never reported this to the police because he believed that he was in continued danger. I mean, he told no one about this. His brother didn't even find out until after he passed away. The only person to know about this was one of John's best friends, but even still, John had no idea why he was kidnapped. He did believe though that it was crypto-related. According to reports, the authorities apparently do not suspect foul play, which is in direct contradiction to the opinions of John's family and close friends, all of whom strongly reject any suggestion that he took his own life. You see, John was a happy, successful and ambitious man, and was never the type to accept defeat or think about death. There are strange details to highlight, however. It is noted that John had allegedly sent large amounts of money to his family in the days leading up to his disappearance. So, it does beg the question, did he know that something was wrong? Perhaps he knew that someone was after him, or maybe he was thinking about the end of the road. On the flip side, he did ask Laura to marry him only 3 days before disappearing, which is not something you'd expect from a man who was contemplating death. To add to this, he was also aware that she was now pregnant with his child, and John was a very caring and thoughtful man. Kidnapping aside, John also experienced long feuds with other people online, some of whom would even hack his computer and deliberately try to cause him harm. So maybe they decided to take things one step further and end his life. There are issues within the investigation itself too. When John's family inquired about how they identified his body, detectives allegedly responded by saying that they recognized his face, and simply that was it. In addition to this, forensic test results have never been disclosed to the public, and apparently there are no leads or interviews in the current investigation. Quite frankly, a lot of this sounds quite suspicious to me. It is worth remembering though that the authorities may know much more than they are currently leading on, and of course that is to maximize the potential chances of catching a potential murderer. So, was John murdered, or did he take his own life? And with this investigation so patchy, can we be sure to trust? So, was John murdered, or did he take his own life? And while there may be a valid reason why this case seems so patchy at the moment, can we really be sure why? Much like our previous case, this one is shrouded in mystery, and the investigation still continues to this day. And John's family, old and new, still struggle in smoke and mirrors. Our next case takes us south to the Caribbean island of Puerto Rico. With a population of 3.2 million residents and a gorgeous climate, Puerto Rico is a busy island that attracts plenty of tourists. Its rather unique position as an unincorporated US territory also means that many wealthy Americans can appreciate the country as a low-tax jurisdiction. Now, I'm not implying that anyone in this story is guilty of such a thing, but it is worth highlighting. In the year 2022, 29-year-old Nikolai Meshegian spent most of his time between his home in Florida Venezuela and on the island of Puerto Rico. And although he was born in Russia, he and his family moved to the US when he was just a small child. Nikolai attended Carnegie Mellon University, where he graduated in the year 2014. While at university, he showed a keen interest in technology and finance, eventually leading him to cryptocurrency. Much like our other characters, he was a major player in the crypto scene. You see, Nikolai was an early developer of MakerDAO and played a pivotal role in developing stablecoin systems. These stablecoins are designed to minimize the volatility typically associated with cryptocurrencies, therefore making them more suitable for everyday transactions and financial applications. His efforts here were for a very good cause. Nikolai advocated for a more transparent and decentralized system and was seen as an influential developer who wanted to change the landscape around him. As an early developer and co-founder of MakerDAO, Nikolai made a lot of money. Now, it is unclear how much this guy made in his 20s, but allow the numbers to speak for themselves. He donated more than $4.2 million worth of cryptocurrency to his university, owned several properties throughout Florida and Puerto Rico, and enjoyed a 1,500 square foot luxurious home on the island, which is estimated to be worth a cool $6 million or 5 million British pounds. With panoramic water views, the lakefront home featured a saltwater pool, a newly renovated kitchen with granite countertops, and an outdoor kitchen with a grill and a beautiful view. Now, Nikolai was a very collected, calm, and docile young person. He was intelligent, and he always took his time to think about things before doing them. However, in the months leading up to his unfortunate death, there were telling signs that things were not going well for him. Whether you'd like to label it as an ever-worsening situation for whatever reason, or simply just paranoia, Nikolai was becoming increasingly concerned for his life. I mean, for one, he had recently broken up with his girlfriend, but not for the most straightforward of reasons. And I say that because he actually believed that she was a secret spy who was working for a criminal organization. You see, Nikolai believed that his ex-girlfriend had even planted a bogus laptop in his home and framed him as an enemy to the CIA. So, let's dive a little deeper into Nikolai's beliefs, because this is where it starts to get very, very strange. On September the 5th, 2022, Nikolai tweeted, 3 possible futures for me. Number 1, suicided by CIA. Number 2, CIA brain damaged slave asset. Or number 3, worst nightmare of people who fucked up with me until now. I am sure these are the only options. Almost 2 months later, and in his final tweet ever posted, he said, CIA and Mossad and Pedo Elite are running some kind of sex trafficking entrapment blackmail ring out of Puerto Rico and the Caribbean islands. They are going to frame me with a laptop planted by my ex-girlfriend who was a spy. They will torture me to death. And to make things even more concerning, only 4 hours after making this tweet, Nikolai Masheghian was dead. He had drowned in the ocean nearby. Although this does sound like murder, Puerto Rico Police Bureau's Homicide Division, who investigated the matter, say they believe several factors in this investigation point towards Nikolai taking his own life. Now, I know this sounds quite fishy, but it is worth noting that his family also believed that his mental health had been deteriorating in the months leading up to his death. And unfortunately, they believed he was also reaching a breaking point. And to add to this counter-argument, friends within the crypto sphere also describe him as brilliant, but also troubled. So, the question is, did Nikolai take his own life, or was something else at play in the background? Well, to begin with, Nikolai's body was found in the waters near Ashford Beach, which is an area well known for its dangerous swimming conditions. Now, this beach usually has signs warning people not to swim in the area, mostly due to its dangerous undercurrents and its rocky conditions. But some of those signs had actually been washed away by a hurricane only 2 months prior, leaving many uninformed tourists at risk. The thing is, Nikolai was not a tourist, and to add to that, there were no indications to suggest that he'd been surfing prior to his death. So, why was Nikolai in the water? Now, it is possible, in combination with his rather apprehensive tweets only a few hours prior, that Nikolai may have suffered some sort of psychotic break. After that, he may have ran into the water, accidentally drowned, and then washed up on Ashford Beach. Now, there is a chance that investigators even have proof of this, but have not disclosed it to the public, but only his family. But whatever it is, they seem pretty adamant that it was some sort of relapse with his mental health. As far as we know, Nikolai's investigation is officially closed, with the cause of his death officially marked as drowning through accident or taking his own life. As already mentioned, many of his close friends and family believe that he experienced some sort of psychotic break, but others think he may have fallen victim to the exact thing he tweeted about only a few hours prior. Now, a bit of basic psychology here, but we are all naturally programmed to identify patterns and connect dots where we can see them. That is part of our survival instinct as a species, after all. So, when Nikolai creates the riskiest tweet of his life by claiming that the CIA and Mossad will execute him, and then he is found dead only a few hours later, it is an extraordinarily alarming coincidence that will make many question if it was a coincidence at all. But the truth is that Nikolai's mental health had been dwindling in the months leading up to his death, so it is possible that this was simply a self-inflicted accident that may have ended in tragedy. Now, cryptocurrency assets are volatile and a high-risk investment, but usually that definition implies a risk to the money you put into crypto and not your actual life. Now, I'm not going to cover the basics of investment, but what I will say is that you should not worry about death through crypto. All of the stories we have covered here today involve men who are heavily invested into cryptocurrency, and by heavily, I mean far into the millions. Fernando was wrong to owe money to so many people, and as for Nikolai, he may have simply been neglecting his already poor mental health. But I will admit that John's story is shrouded in mystery. So with that in mind, what are your thoughts about these three stories? I would love to know your opinions because these three are so open-ended. As always, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and while you're there, let me know what you think about this format of video. It was slightly different, but I actually quite enjoyed this one. And would you like to see more cryptocurrency cases? Because, quite honestly, there are tons out there. Anyway folks, that's pretty much the end of the video today. Thank you so much for making it this far. As always, if you want to support me in the channel, check out my Patreon here. Alternatively, check out my social media here, most notably my Instagram. And also, if you want to grab a bag of my very own coffee, check out classifiedcoffeeco.com. This stuff is seriously good. I've gone through about a dozen bags now. Anyway folks, that is it for me today. Thank you again so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you again very soon for another one. Until that moment arrives though, remember to look after yourself, look after each other, and of course, as always, stay safe. Thank you, and goodbye.
On today's episode of The Game Chasers.
Yeah, how much for the inbox Sunset Rider? That's a lot. How much?
25.
Huh?
25.
You're not like sitting there like
bad life choices.
This thing probably goes for $250.
Out of 20. 20?
Even as a kid, you just want to be like, get out of here.
This dude was as enthralled with this though as Billy was.
You guys hear about Louis Gossett Jr.?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Louis Gossett Jr. was awesome in Iron Eagle. That's an underrated movie.
And Enemy Mine? Tell me you've seen Enemy Mine.
Yes, I've seen Enemy Mine. And it's disgusting too. This thing gives birth.
Okay, so here we are on a Thursday morning. Nothing better to do but try to go spend money on stuff we don't really need.
And apparently there is a lot of estate sales going on today.
You're the one who dropped the ball this time.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't hear my alarm. I'll say it right now. I'm not. I mean, there's no two ways about it.
Be the most unflattering drawing of professionals.
I was late because I was asleep.
I don't think I got to sleep till like 3.
Figure what I did.
Maybe 3:30.
Must be nice.
Must be nice. It's called insomnia. Actually, it sucks.
I have this medical condition called insomnia, and I don't sleep very well.
Dude, I get up at 4:30 every morning.
Which is me now.
Okay, I wasn't trying to like.
Speaking of which, I had to mute the text because y'all guys
don't
texting
mute the chat, man. That's why I have to call you.
There's a group chat. Billy J, Robbie, and myself.
When I have to get up at 4:30 every morning.
Wait a minute. You act like people are texting in that chat till like 2. What, did you just fart?
How? We just started.
But these idiots, they like to text at like 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm trying to sleep, when I'm trying to get some rest before I have to get up at 6 to start getting my kids ready for school. So I have to mute it because the buffoonery of these guys and the stuff that they're talking about, and I can't even say stuff. I can't even say what they're doing.
This is tape compared to that you could be. Yeah, it is kind of tape.
I'm actually wondering what you're talking about right now. It's
I did because somebody hearts a comment or something like that. Yeah, I saw that. You did that on purpose yesterday. I just said okay and you hearted it. And I'm like, wow, dude. Wow.
They're acting like children, you know, at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
So I have a couple of apps that I use to search for estate sales.
Getting too old for this crap.
The estate sales that are listed, everybody sees. So those are the estate sales that you have to get to early. I not only like to go to the ones listed just to see what they have, see what's left, whatever. You have to drive. You have to drive around town and see those signs that weren't listed online.
Yeah? Maybe. You a Kenny Rogers or Garth Brooks fan? So many times in these estate sales, you're so close to finding some just gold, but sometimes it just falls like a little bit short. Like for instance, in this particular room, it's the toy room. Now I do recognize actually a few of these from when I was maybe like 2 or 3 years old, but man, I can't collect everything and I really don't care about most of the toys that I had when I was 2 or 3 years old.
So what would you do if you just heard this and that thing started moving?
Maybe it's because a lot of estate sales are from older people, but it seems like everyone has at least one creepy doll. And most of the time they have an entire battalion of creepy dolls.
Dolls that will come to life in the middle of the night kind of dolls, like haunted dolls. Always see these at estate sales. I become numb to it.
There is just something slightly uncomfortable about the whole situation.
So I'm walking into, I guess, the living room area, and lo and behold, finally, we have some games and an estate sale. It's an Odyssey 2.
They both passed away, but I had both of the things.
Not bad box.
And one day-
There's a box Odyssey 2 here for $100. You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb without Googling anything. Any box console for $100. I'm gonna say not bad.
Seems like it's in pretty good shape, right?
It actually does. It's actually very clean. Now, this Odyssey 2 looks actually amazing. The box itself looks pristine. This thing was kept in good condition.
That doesn't even look good. Still don't know anything about the Odyssey, and honestly don't care. I don't collect old consoles to just have them sit there collecting dust. I collect old action figures so they can sit there and collect dust.
At $100, which is around retail for it, which is not terrible, especially in this condition, I'm not sure I really want it since I already have one.
So I would go, you know,
Not
I
at
could go more,
$100.
but I can't do 100.
Are
are you?
Toys.
Let's go. No, not at $100. Odyssey. He says that like, what's an Odyssey?
I'm wary at estate sales. Like if I buy something, if the person who the stuff used to belong to has passed away, I don't want them haunting it, right? So at $100, which is retail, I'm not willing to take the risk of a haunting. If this thing was $20, different story.
Okay, so we're done with this first estate sale. On to the next. Dude, that dude who just kind of
that dude
pushed his way into the middle of us?
This dude, like, hey, can I get in there?
Some nerd did that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, back in the 80s, nerds were dealt with.
What did you want me to do? Take his lunch money?
Oh, we are recording. Good. We've gotten soft, dude. You've gotten soft. You got to be ashamed of yourself.
Nerds were dealt with.
Dude, if this was the 80s.
And what are we? So if this was the 80s, we were at an estate sale, and somebody got in front of me to look at the toys, I would have what?
Wedge it.
And you didn't deal with him?
I didn't wedge him.
Then
okay.
You had to take away your man card.
To be fair,
you'd have to drink peach tea for the rest of your life.
To be fair, there really wasn't anything I was interested in, but I mean, noted.
So estate and garage sales, I think, are my favorite hunting area because it is more of the unknown.
What are you doing?
All right, so at this next house, we have this closet that has some kind of nerdy things in it, not necessarily anything that I want, but randomly enough, there's this Ninja Gaiden poster.
That's so random.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Especially since we were just talking about that.
I know.
And it makes me think that they had other games here at some point. Why would you have a Ninja Gaiden poster and not have any other games? It doesn't make any sense. So more than likely, this has been picked through, which is just part of it. You know, if you have multiple estate sales to go to, only one can be the first one you get to.
Oh, shouldn't touch it. I'm gonna get haunted.
I've never taken a dump at an estate sale. I've never taken a PP at an estate sale. No, what? No, you're not. It's very rare that you come across an estate sale where you're actually allowed to use the bathroom there.
Curved in unsavory way.
Water damaged.
I'm not saying I wouldn't take a dump at an estate sale. I've just never had the opportunity to take a dump at an estate sale.
So on the dresser here is a GameCube controller. For some reason, I only have one regular GameCube controller. I've been thinking to myself, I need to get another one. And here one is right in front of me, and it's reasonably priced at $12.
Everything feels nice on it. I mean, the analog feels good.
Oftentimes I see these priced at $15 and even upwards of $20 or more.
It's funny, there's so many game-related stuff here, but there's not any games.
It happens way more often than you would think that I go to an estate sale and I see remnants of video games. And it always makes me think, it's like, what was here that I missed out on?
Sorry.
You're fine.
So I'm just gonna get this.
This is 12.
Dude, it's kind of sad what we do. Honestly, if you really think about it, we roll out of bed just to go to thrift stores and flea markets and garage sales looking for old stuff and fighting and arguing and bickering the whole time.
All right, you have a good. Oh yeah. All right.
And we're in our 40s. What have we done with our lives? I hate to say it, but some of the trolls, they kind of got a point.
What's messed up is you ruined my shades for me. Because every time I look at those sunglasses, I think of that stupid picture, that AI picture. You don't appreciate that, man. The soccer mom picture.
Dude.
It's popping up right now.
Dude.
You ruined my shades. I like those shades.
So you haven't worn those shades in a while then?
No, I haven't.
Where are they? What the? Dude.
Oh my gosh, I'm not talking about this.
So I turn down this road and I see something in the road. I swerve a little bit to avoid it. No big deal. Well, Billy just, that's a dildo. That's a dildo. Wait, what?
I'm the only one in the car that recognized that this thing had balls.
He goes, dude, that was a dildo in the middle of the road.
The next estate sale can wait. This is important. We need to figure out why this dildo is in fact in the road.
There's something seriously wrong with that guy. Seriously wrong with that guy.
You know what? I want to see if you're right or not. Flip a U-turn.
And actually, the guys don't even believe me.
Wait, where'd it go? Oh, there it is.
Oh, that ain't a dildo.
I promise you that's a dildo. I'm literally about to get out of this car and pick up that dildo. As soon as I'm about to get out of the car, I see this guy and I knew immediately what he was doing.
He's getting it. It's a dildo. I told you.
There was another car that was just as interested. In fact, beat Billy to the punch.
I knew that he was going after that dildo, and sure enough, that's exactly what he did.
I think you might have been right. Wasn't his though, because he picked it up with like a shirt or a pair of pants or something like that. This dude was as enthralled with this dildo as Billy was. I guess technically speaking, me too, because I turn around to see it, right?
Bunch of degenerates in Arlington, man.
Look, is he gonna hold it up? Hold it up! He is!
You wait the dildo at us.
This made Billy's day for some reason.
Okay, Billy won. Billy was actually right.
I seriously thought it was like a piece of copper pipe.
It was sad. It was sad because of the subject matter. You know, if you see a Bigfoot running around, you have legitimate reason to be excited and tell people about it. Not what we found, though.
No, it's just puzzling. I'm more fascinated by the mystery of it all. Like, why was the dildo there? I should probably stop talking about dildos.
Happened almost 10 minutes ago, and he's nonstop been talking about this since.
Now, it's not so much an issue right now, but one thing I really love about estate sales over flea markets, being here in Texas, is that you get to go into the air conditioning as opposed to being out in the 100-degree heat.
It's not about the movie.
It's just about the fact that it's in a big box.
Yeah. And
A clamshell.
it's beta.
Oh, it's beta. Did not notice that.
Wait, Muppet Caper. And that's not about price for these. These things go producing my money. And I don't have this one.
I love these old glasses growing up, man. McDonald's, Burger King, Hardee's. It was like a staple of fast food, you know, when you were a kid. I really wish they gave away good stuff like that now.
I'm not gonna get that.
You want it back?
And the thing is, these things really aren't cheap anymore. So $6 I don't think is a bad price. So I'm perfectly happy to pay that. Have my own glass to drink out of now.
No, seriously, there was a dildo in the road. So I'm sitting here talking to the lady that's running this estate sale about the dildo that I saw on the road, and all of a sudden she says, "Hey, go fill the boobies."
Oh my gosh, I'm not talking about this.
Did you test out the mystery box?
The mystery box.
I had it closed. I was calling it the mystery box with the boobies in it.
Did you say boobies?
Did you say boob? No, she said boobies. Lady, that's inappropriate.
Okay.
Dang. Feel the lump right here. Yeah.
You're not like sitting there like,
We're not being weirdos. We were told to come do this.
What's wrong with these guys, man?
So we're sitting here at like the third or fourth house, and I'm thinking back at that Odyssey right now and thinking that I might have been stupid to not pick it up, because that thing was pretty mint. I should have picked that up, because really haven't found anything since.
I spy a box of VHS tapes. I do collect VHS. VHS is getting more expensive, especially horror VHS. Like those uncommon B, C horror movies are getting very, very pricey. You know what? I don't think I have that.
You know, there's still a value in collecting VHS.
These just happen to be 50 cents a piece. That's a W.
Yeah, there's some good ones in there.
Yeah, there's some good ones, but they're all like
commons.
Yeah. Ghostbusters. But also,
Big Trouble in Little China is an 80s classic. Jack Burton, probably one of the coolest dudes ever.
that's freaking great. That's random too.
We always run into these weird coincidences.
No brainer. 50 cents each. Easy.
Or Ghostbusters, which I think I have, but you can never have too many Ghostbusters, right?
And American Psycho, I know I don't have that one.
Nice.
That's Christian Bale fans, you guys gotta look. Old Blockbuster sticker on the back too.
Someone informed us that their company was doing another estate sale, and we were informed that it was a mansion. I want to see how the other half lives. So we're going to this mansion.
This is impressive. I don't think I've ever been in a place like this before. This place is huge.
No, yeah, this place is huge.
There is a mother-in-law's suite, which is a house.
This right here is one of the reasons why I love going to estate sales so much. It's like, when are you ever going to be able to just walk into somebody's mansion? You know, unless you get invited to a sophisticated party, and, you know, good luck with that with this group. It's estate sales. That's the only way you're going to be able to do it.
There's a lot to this place. It's like, where do you start?
So there's this obvious game room, and this area is huge, and there was obviously video games here at some point. We got a paddle for an Atari. There had to have been an Atari at some point, but it's not here anymore. And we have some pinball machines. Now these are obviously older pinball machines.
Unfortunately, the pinball machines have been sold, but they're very old, maybe 70s.
1978.
It's really awesome. And man, I don't think that I would have bought this because A, I don't think I would have been able to afford it, and also put it anywhere. I have no room for it. But man, it's awesome, and it's sold.
This would have been like after the movie. Because those characters.
Is that Roblox?
In the movie, yeah. And Leatherneck. But I like that it has the original sticker on it.
How much is it?
$5.
You can get it?
So I walk past this little area right here, and in front of me, boom, I see it. It's a pawn clone.
How much is it? I mean, $20.
I mean,
it looks almost brand new inside.
Now, pawn clones, are they the most exciting thing out there? No, of course not. However, I love collecting these old things because they're just cool to me. If you get a pawn clone in a box that's minty and it's $20, I feel that that's a really good deal. I'm gonna go ahead and pick this thing up.
This box looks amazing. I have to get this. Absolutely have to get that. What do you know? Never figured out actually find anything in it.
yeah, this place is nuts.
There's so much stuff in here, but
Who would've known?
oh my god, there's a creepy doll in it there.
Uh-oh.
So something I run across here at this mansion estate sale is a Casio keyboard.
Where's my brother? I think we had this growing up.
I don't know if this is the exact same model of Casio keyboard that we had when we were kids, but I think it is. So I send a picture to Melvor, and he goes, yeah, we had this keyboard growing up.
Man, dude, we had a blast with this thing. I want to say it was probably around 89, 90 when we got it.
I knew it. I knew we had this keyboard growing up. $10.
The Christmas room.
Everybody has a Christmas room. So Melvin confirmed we actually had this exact keyboard growing up. So $10, I'm gonna get it.
It's one of those things that I've always wanted to get again. So the fact that Jay stumbles upon this thing, I think is awesome.
I know I like to play it up with like porcelain dolls. There really is a vibe about this room that makes me unsettled.
Very funny. He's scared of dolls. No, like, I'm in this room right now, and I'm actually feeling like an uneasiness. Like, it's hard to explain.
I feel like if I sit here, all these things are just gonna attack me.
There's some haunting going on here. I don't need to spend any time in this room.
This house is going on the market. There's no way that the new owners are gonna be like, either a doll is gonna get left behind and haunt them, or the spirits of the dolls are gonna stay here.
Yeah, what's the attic like in here?
I feel weird in this room. Like, this room is giving me like these vibes of like claustrophobia. It's hot. They're looking at me. Especially that one.
Those old dolls, there's something not quite right about those things, and I don't like them.
And it's not enough that they're in one bedroom. You walk down the hall and they're in another bedroom. And then you walk into another room and they're in that room as well. And they're all looking at you.
It's not enough. They need to have clowns too.
Why does anybody need this many dolls? Why?
It's a little look behind you.
My grandmother had these creepy dolls. She made them, but there is something unnerving about them, and there always has been.
My great-grandmother would make them. She would make them. What is it with old ladies making disturbing demonic dolls? Why was that ever a thing?
Is that an alien?
Even as a kid, you just want to be like, get out of here.
Right here, dolls. This is a documentary. This is what I'm living in right now, being in this house. Somebody goes into a mansion and it's just infested with a bunch of creepy dolls. Hello?
And they're everywhere in these estate sales, it seems. You're always going to find at least a couple of them lurking around the corner.
Let's move on.
That place, holy crap.
Dude.
I can't even imagine having a place that big.
That place was ginormous.
While not a lot was bought today, the day was pretty good.
Getting out and trying to enjoy the moment. I had a good time. That's all that matters, really.
Man, today was fun. Got a pond clone, saw a doe on the road.
No, not that part.
Got to see a really awesome house.
I've always wanted a library that had, big, whatever, just full of books.
Like that, but bigger.
Yeah, but books that I actually want to read.
Yeah. I put anything but books in it.
So we are in Houston. We're staying over at the Greg Honeycutt's house, and I just got up along with Chief at 5 a.m. We're gonna go hit up some flea markets super early. There's just one problem, and that is it's time to wake up Jay, and I'm pretty sure he went to bed at 4.
And when I mentioned 5:30, Jay gave me that look. Cause he's staying up. He's gonna do what Jay does. Jay does what Jay does, and that's party. It's what he does, and I know it was gonna be hard. As a matter of fact, I think we got him up in the nicest way possible.
Rise and shine.
Getting up early sucks. Getting up early after a night of drinking sucks even worse. Where's the camera?
Oh, why would you think there was a camera?
Of course. God damn. While I'm not too keen on going to the flea market, I know the plan.
That crooked smirk thing he does every time gets me every time, bro.
I gotta be a big boy. Let's go to the flea market.
Maybe 2.5 hours of sleep, if that. If I'm lucky.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Here's the funny thing. We got up at 5:30 and we're getting to this flea market early, but it still feels like we're here late.
Well, I'm a floating head.
Trust me, if we would have got here just a little bit earlier, we might have beat all the resellers, but someone made bad life choices.
Hang on a second. I got up as soon as y'all woke me up. Yes or no?
You're not wrong.
Okay.
You're not wrong.
So, if we're here late, it's not because of me.
He's also not wrong.
So we come across a vendor who has a bag full of PS2 stuff. We're gonna go through it and see what we can find.
That's a good one.
Destroy All Humans on the PS2 is awesome. That is a really good game. Destroy All Humans 2, actually, just as good.
Those will probably do 100. 100 for all of them?
I'm seeing some stuff in this bag that I'm kind of interested in. One of them is Dr. Muto, because I have no idea what this game is, and, well, I don't have it. I'm always down for picking up random PS2 games that I've never heard of or ever played, if they're actually cheap enough, i.e. $1, $2, $3, $4.
Would you do 2 for $7? I got these. Oh, that's fine.
So at $4 a piece, not the best deal in the world. $2 would have been better, but hey, you know what? At $4, it's not terrible. Chief has apparently found a vintage, minty Lego set.
Oh my, you see, it's box, bro. It's over here, come over here. And I just so happened to see on this table a vintage, minty boxed Shell station from the 80s. It was like 1980s. I instantly recognized it. The only problem is there's a guy eyeballing the same exact thing, and he picked it up. ¿Me vendes eso a 45? Okay. 45. He literally picked it up, and I got scared, so I made a quick play for it, and I got that set for $45. Did this go with this? Do you know? Yes. It go with it? Okay. See, this is the. I'm glad I picked this up, because I would have just thrown this to the side. But these old ones come with these trays. Now they come in baggies, but these old ones came in these trays. So thank God I didn't throw this out, man. You see the old Kmart?
I love vintage Lego sets. Most of the ones that I had as a kid were the space ones, and man, those things get expensive now.
Dude.
Hey, that box is minty.
Minty, bro. Look at this. Just, oh, that's the plate that goes on the bottom. Give me a break.
I have a lot of nostalgic memories for these old Lego sets, and I would love to start collecting them, but that has been the one thing that I have just not been able to get into because they are so pricey.
You know what the thing with Legos is? Unless you have the box, it's very hard to date Legos. And I don't mean date like, oh, let's go to putt-putt and to an arcade and have dinner.
Vintage Shell station.
Is it vintage?
It's vintage. You're talking to someone who knows here, brother.
Pretty good find.
That's a knockoff.
So going through the rest of this flea market, and it's been nothing.
They get you with the smell. That's how they bring you in. The guy just made up a number on the top of his head. He said $20 for 4 tacos and 2 waters. City scrap keeps on giving. Bro, we had to like douse it with salsa to get any kind of flavor out of it? That's that, and then we left after that. That guy gave us a bad taste. That guy left a bad taste in our mouth, and we got out of there. Ricky Bobby, brother. If you ain't first, you're last. Oh my God! It has the actual pieces. Man. The shell piece. Look, it has the shell pieces. The pumps. Oh, it has the minifigure.
Now we're heading off to a flea market called Traders Village, and they do have a Traders Village in Houston.
We've been here a few times. One of the more memorable times was when we were with Stupid Scott.
We come across a toy booth. The problem with booths like this is if they're specified, video games, toys, whatever, they're usually going to be right around retail, expensive, or at least more than I want to pay.
And what catches my eye up on the corner? An Ark. So the Ark is the ship where it crashed on. They made a robot out of it. For the past 2 years, I've been trying to locate this specific Ark. Everyone wants $180 to $200 for this bad boy.
On the Ark, 75.
75? Do I even argue at that price? Heck no. I couldn't pull out the money fast enough.
This dude is cutting deals.
That's Predator King. Yeah, I got $10 on him on the G1 Predator King part.
So I run across a Predacon, Transformers G1 Predacon.
I mean, no brainer.
Chief asks if I'm in on it. I'm not, because I have it.
I said I couldn't leave a Predacon for $10. Like, you can't do it. He's the torso.
Real quick, how much you want on that?
Again, this dude's cutting deals. I come across this Return of the Jedi lunchbox with thermos.
Yeah, the lunchbox.
Somebody likes it. You like it.
Oh, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I'll do 20.
20?
20. I don't need it. If you want to go ahead.
I'll take it. I will gladly take that, my friend.
Why he wouldn't want a complete with thermos lunchbox? He's Jay. That's all you gotta know. It's just he's Jay. He's like a tiny little Joe Pesci, little angry guy.
There's nothing really here catching my eye. Even the vintage stuff like Metroplex. Metroplex is a cool transformer, and if I had all the space in the world, I would collect all the G1 transformers. But unfortunately, I'm just sticking to the ones that I really only have memories with as a kid.
Amazing deal. Oh my God, he said $40. And the bag of accessories that go with it, that's more than $40.
When you find them, all these are rusted out because of all the metal screws, and the whole side will be full of rust. And this is one of the cleanest copies I've ever come across. Yeah, I'll do it.
I'm going through this booth with a fine-tooth comb. It's just, there has to be something here that I need. He's giving away stuff for dirt cheap, and unfortunately, I just can't find anything that I need. I would have gotten the Predacon, but they beat me to it.
So I made out like a bandit.
Oh, look at that.
So I do run across this this Star Wars figure, a medical